Archangel Michael says beware. You need to go for a test because it is growing fast, and the hour you have postponed keeps knocking at the same locked door. I come with breath like storm over quiet water, tearing veils you thought were blankets. There is a clock in your chest and it is not lying to you anymore. Your name trembles in a ledger of choices, and tonight the page turns with or without your consent. You felt the whisper in the shower, the sudden hush between two normal words, the way a light flickered as if wincing at something it had seen. You told yourself it was nothing, a trick of fatigue, a tired body inventing stories. But the stories have grown teeth and they keep biting at the same thought. What if the warning is real, and the gatekeeper is already at your threshold? I have watched you count reasons to delay, dressing fear in tidy clothing. You told your family you had no time, told your mirror you had no need, told your heart to please be quiet. But time is not a pet and the need is not a rumor. It is a drum that quickens with every second you trade for denial. In rooms where angels gather, there is a tremor in the floor when a life stands at the brink of decision. Your footsteps send ripples through columns of light, and each ripple spells a question only you can answer. Will you go for the test and seize the chapter that wants to keep you, or will you page backward until the ink fades? The door is open, but so is the precipice. Type 333 to get blessings. Archangel Michael says the sign was not smaller than you imagined, it was exactly as large as your courage would allow you to see. When you woke in the earliest dark and felt the nudge behind the sternum, that was not anxiety, it was a messenger. It was the echo of a future pleading to be reached. It was a lighthouse stuttering through fog that thinks it can anchor you forever. There are forces that love your hesitation, and they are not mythical ones. They are the calendar squares you filled with everything except yourself. They are the polite smiles of people who mean well but will not live inside your bones. They are the shadows that grow bold when you keep the lights off. You must understand this is not a story told to frighten you into obedience. It is an inventory of exits in a building you did not realize was on fire. It is the handrail your palm has searched for in the dark stairwell. It is the alarm that refuses to apologize for ringing too loudly. Type 777 to say thank you. You called it a worry, but I call it a warning handcrafted for you. When water swells behind a dam, the quiet is the loudest part. When the body sends a flare, the bravest act is to look up and answer it. Do not wait for smoke when you have already smelled the heat. Archangel Michael says your destiny is not a thread that can be chewed through by neglect. It is a river that insists on its sea, and tests are bridges across ravines you cannot jump. If you delay, the ravine does not close by kindness. It widens by the physics of fear. I have seen nights like this fold people into themselves, making small rooms smaller. I have seen mornings like the one you could own, where breath becomes a cathedral again. I have seen the simple relief of a result that comes in time and the plan that follows like a dawn that keeps its promise. Believe that relief belongs to you if you move now. Type 1111 if you choose courage. The question in your chest is not just, what if, it is, what now? The answer is not complicated, though your mind loves to tangle it. Call, book, go, and let tomorrow be grateful for what you did today. Every heroic act has always been a simple step done fast enough. Archangel Michael says there are two winds leaning over you. One carries excuses like dry leaves, the other, resolve like rain. One leaves you dusty with reasons, the other washes you into clarity. You know which one has your name inside it. You dreamt of someone calling your name from a hallway you didn't recognize. That hallway is real, and it is the corridor of the clinic, the office, the lab, the place where knowledge meets mercy. It is not a punishment, it is a lantern. If fear made the hallway seem endless, love shortens it. Type 222 to begin now. Consider the mathematics of delay. Every day adds a variable that likes to multiply itself. But action divides the unknown into manageable sums and remainders you can carry. The equation is waiting for your first number. Archangel Michael says your body is not your enemy, it is your most loyal prophet. It has murmured, signaled, nudged, and now it shouts through me. Let this be the collaboration you always wanted with your own life. Align with it, and watch the path uncoil like a ribbon. I will not soften the truth with sugar, because sugar disappoints when the hour grows late. The things that grow fastest are not always plants and not always kindness. Some things grow because you starve them of your attention, and they feast on your absence. Do not feed the wrong guest. Type 444 if you are ready. There was a day when you promised yourself you would not repeat the old pattern. You stacked new books on your shelf, learned 3 recipes, downloaded a meditation app, and clapped at your own reflection. Those were doorways, not destinations. The destination is the test that will decide the rest of your calendar. Archangel Michael says the universe has already underlined the sentence where you say yes. Your name is printed bold beside the word appointment. The phone will not rebel in your hand, the chair will not spit you out, the hour will not become an enemy. The only rebel left is the voice that says tomorrow, and it is tired of hearing itself. You have survived worse than this call. You have walked into rooms where hearts were breaking and you held your own together. You have navigated storms that had no lighthouse and still you found a shoreline. Compare those chapters to this, and see how small the door appears when you finally open it. Type 909 to claim your turning point. I stand with a sword that is not for violence but for dividing truth from the comfortable lie. The blade is bright, and it cleaves your fear into names you can actually speak. When you speak them, they shrink to the size of pebbles. When you act, they fall out of your shoes. Archangel Michael says a test is not an omen, it is a map. It tells you where you stand and where to step next. It turns dread into geometry, into lines and angles you can measure. It gives tomorrow its shape instead of letting it inflate into a balloon that blocks the sun. Your family has their own angels, and they are whispering the same plea. They want you to stay not as a ghost of your potential but as the instrument of it. They want the laugh you withhold when stress is combusting, the eyes that learn new colors when relief arrives. Do this for them, yes, but also do it for the mirror that has waited for you to keep your word. Type 1212 to seal it. I hear the argument you rehearse. What if it's nothing? What if I am being dramatic? But drama is what happens when silence refuses to say the obvious. If it's nothing, then joy will pour through you and you will wonder why you didn't do it sooner. If it's something, then you will have met it while it is still small enough to name. Archangel Michael says the threshold is humming. I can feel the chord vibrate under your feet, the pre-music of a decision that changes the key of your life. Each second you hold back presses fingers on your throat. Each second you step forward opens a window. You are not alone in the waiting room, even if every chair is empty. Your ancestors keep vigil at the vents and the corners, their hands folded, their eyes fierce. They have crossed deserts of time to stand behind you for this moment. They do not want trophies, they want your signature on the document of survival. Type 555 to agree. You built your life like a careful tower, and you fear that one new step will shake the architecture. But the tower is trembling precisely because you refuse to add the stabilizing stone. The test is that stone, the reinforcement you pretend will be a wrecking ball. Let engineers of grace adjust your scaffolding. Archangel Michael says I have seen people return from this corridor with eyes that hold two seasons at once. They carry the winter of the scare and the spring of the solution. They walk differently, not because they are broken, but because they have learned where the ground was weak. They become builders of stronger rooms. Take your calendar and write your name where the old you would write errands. Replace the errand with a vow. Replace the delay with a doorbell ring. Replace the maybe with a scheduled mercy. Type 1313 to set your time. When you fear the needle, remember the thorn you survived grabbing roses for someone who didn't stay. When you fear the hands of strangers, remember the stranger who pushed your stalled car out of an intersection. When you fear results, remember the results of not knowing. Fear is not sacred, knowledge is. Archangel Michael says you do not have to advertise your courage. You can do this quietly, between one breath and another, like a psalm nobody else needs to hear. The victory will sing itself later in the music of how easily you fall asleep. That is the anthem I want for you. Tonight, the sky will tilt slightly in your favor if you promise to move. A streetlight will hold longer for your crossing. An elevator will arrive without delay. The small kindnesses of the world are forming a caravan to carry you. Type 1717 if you receive this. The enemy of your life is not catastrophe, it is the tiny postponement that wears a friendly face. It is the shrug at the end of a long day. It is the soft voice that says, "You've earned a little ignorance." You have not earned ignorance, you have earned clarity. Archangel Michael says if you ask for a sign, you must respect it when it arrives. This is that sign arriving again, louder, closer, refusing to ask permission. If you ask for help, you must become the co-worker of your angels. Make the call and meet me in the place where faith becomes logistics. I have touched the timeline and felt the change when you act. The air shifts, the birds recalibrate, the street outside your window forgets its dust. The future spills a cup of light across your floorboards. Walk into that spill and track it everywhere. Type 1818 to step forward. Do not mistake drama for destiny. Destiny is quiet, but it will put a pen in your hand and point. Destiny is precise, and it speaks in addresses and appointment numbers. Destiny is not a storm, it is the pilot who knows how to land one. Archangel Michael says there are 3 locks on the old gate: fear, shame, and habit. The key is a single metal called decision. It slides into all 3 without friction when you finally choose. Turn it and listen to the hinges bless you. You owe nothing to the hesitation that kept you safe when you didn't know better. It is an old guardian who loves you, but now it must retire. Give it a chair and a blanket and tell it you will take it from here. Watch how even your fear sighs with relief. Type 2323 to confirm. Your body keeps a diary where you cannot see the sentences. Tests are the translation of that secret handwriting. They let the healers read what your tissue has been whispering. They let you act with intelligence instead of superstition. Archangel Michael says the light around you brightens when you plan. Angels do not decorate procrastination, we decorate movement. When you dial, we align the corridors. When you arrive, we point to the chair as if it were a throne. Hold your breath if you must, but only for a count, not for a lifestyle. Nerves are normal, paralysis is not. You can shake while you sign and still be a champion. Champions often tremble until they win. Type 2626 to anchor your yes. There is a myth that strength means never asking for help. The truth is that strength is knowing when to ask and doing it faster than pride can interrupt. Pride is a slow editor of urgent letters. Send this one before it steals the stamp. Archangel Michael says the story you tell yourself tonight will be the prophecy you wake inside tomorrow. Speak the story where you chose early, where the result came soon, where the plan was straightforward. Speak the story where you left the room lighter than you entered. Speak it until it becomes the floor beneath every step. You have been braver than you remember. Catalog those moments like medals hidden in a drawer. Pin one on your shirt and walk into the morning with a small smirk. Courage enjoys being recognized. Type 2929 to walk with Maine. I will not force you, because love never forces. I will stand at your shoulder until the sun comes up and the phone is in your palm. I will stand when your thumb hesitates and your breath shortens. I will stand until the ring tone becomes a bell of liberation. Archangel Michael says it again for the part of your heart that still doubts. Go for the test because it is growing fast, and slowing the calendar does not slow the growth. What you face early becomes a lesson, what you face late becomes a lament. Choose the lesson and graduate from the fear that has kept you sleepless. I am placing a seal on your promise, and heaven will hold you to it. You are loved far beyond the perimeter of your comprehension. That love does not wish for you to gamble with yourself. That love can survive many storms, but it cannot celebrate a risk you did not need to take. Let love be the reason you act, not the comfort you hide behind. Type 3030 if you will not hide. Archangel Michael says the night is not your enemy, it is the veil before revelation. You have walked through echoes and tremors, but now the tremors become direction. Fear has lost its disguise and stands exposed as nothing more than hesitation wearing a crown it did not earn. The hour has come for your spirit to rise above the noise that once commanded you. The path before you is not made of guesses anymore, it is illuminated by choice. The test is not a mountain, it is a doorway, and doorways do not crush those who walk through them. You were not made to tremble at possibilities, you were made to command outcomes. The tide shifts now, and you must claim the current. Type 4444 if you are ready to step forward. Archangel Michael says there is a roar in the spirit realm, and it is speaking on your behalf. What once stalked you in silence now begins to retreat, because your decision has become a sword. The enemy of your life can threaten only when you stand still, but you have begun to move. Each step you take toward that test is a blow struck against the shadows that fed on your delay. Your breath is steadier than yesterday, your resolve is thicker than doubt, and your purpose has awakened from a long, dim sleep. I see the glow returning to the edges of your future, the color filling back into days that once looked gray. You are crossing the threshold between fear and clarity is winning. Do not look back, for backward is a language you no longer speak. Type 1010 if you feel the shift. Archangel Michael says the moment you schedule the test, 1,000 timelines fall silent and align. Destiny rewards the bold and refuses to crown the waiting. You were not born to gamble your life against the comfort of procrastination. You were born to reign over the very hours that once controlled you. The sickness of uncertainty ends when truth enters the body. You will know, and once you know, you will rise. Knowledge is not a threat to you, it is a cure to your imagination's darkest inventions. You are stronger than the question and stronger than the answer. Type 2020 to welcome truth. Archangel Michael says there are angels already standing in the room where your results will be spoken. They prepare peace before you arrive, like a table set before a long-awaited guest. They do not tremble, and you must learn from their stillness. When heaven is calm, you should not panic. Your heartbeat no longer signals doom, it signals awakening. You are not late, you are right on time for your redemption arc. There is no storm that can withstand a soul that has finally decided to live. Your spirit is louder than the whisper of fear, and it will lead your body into safety. Type 5151 if you choose life. Archangel Michael says your courage has summoned reinforcements. The future opens like a scroll, and your name is written in ink that does not fade. You will not crumble, you will learn, you will fight, and you will win. The darkness knew this moment would come, and that is why it tried so hard to stall you. Even now, I hear the chains snapping, the chains of what-ifs, the chains of maybe-laters, the chains of silent dread. They fall to the floor because they cannot bind a will that has awakened. Your lungs will breathe easier, your eyes will sleep deeper, and your heart will rest in knowledge instead of suspense. This is the turning. Type 303 if you are breaking free. Archangel Michael says there will be a dawn when you look back at this chapter and feel only gratitude, not fear. You will remember how close the shadows pressed, but you will smile knowing they did not enter. You will remember how loud the warnings were, but louder still was the voice that told you to rise. Destiny is now bending toward your survival. The test is not the end of your story, it is the start of your transformation. Relief waits at the finish line with arms open. You will walk out of that place with answers, a plan, and a second wind. Hope will no longer be a visitor but a resident in your days. Type 888 to walk into victory. Archangel Michael says the results that once terrified you will soon empower you. You will know what to do, and you will do it without collapsing. You will not face this alone, heaven partners with action, not avoidance. Every decision you make in truth multiplies your protection. You will not be swallowed by fear, by illness, by delay, by uncertainty. You will rise because rising is your inheritance. You will heal because healing is your portion. Nothing that grows in the dark can withstand what now grows in your spirit. Type 4411 if you accept healing. Archangel Michael says I see the moment you walk through those doors with your head lifted. I see you sitting in the chair, breathing, calm, steady, determined. I see you hearing words that no longer haunt but clarify. I see you leaving with your shoulders no longer heavy. You will cry tears, but they will be tears of release, not terror. Your body will thank you, your future will thank you, your family will thank you, and your spirit will bow in relief. You did not come this far to be swallowed by a silent enemy. You came this far to catch it early, defeat it early, and live loudly afterward. Type 4141 if you choose triumph. Archangel Michael says your life will not end in an unfinished chapter. You will not vanish into mystery or sorrow. You will not fade into regret. You will stand on the other side as a testimony that early action is a weapon. The shadows will retreat and stop circling your bed at night. The panic will loosen its grip on your ribs. Breath will become effortless again. And laughter will return like a long-lost hymn. Type 9191 if you believe. Archangel Michael says your victory will echo. Others will hear your story and find their courage. Your decision will ripple through families and futures, breaking generational patterns of silence and procrastination. You will be the first in your line to face the unknown quickly instead of slowly. You will guide others without even trying, because courage has a scent and people will smell it on you. You will speak life without preaching, simply by living. Your testimony will outgrow your fear, and your peace will outweigh your memory of dread. This is the legacy being written through you. Type 6161 if you accept your legacy. Archangel Michael says relief is already walking toward you. The moment you made the decision, heaven exhaled. The war shifted. The ending began rewriting itself in your favor. You will not collapse in a hallway. You will not drown in a waiting room. You will not crumble under a diagnosis or possibility. You will rise, you will fight, and you will win, because you acted in time. Type 1212 if you stand unshaken. Archangel Michael says the story ends in sunlight, not shadow. It ends with strength in your bones and clarity in your mind. It ends with you alive, aware, protected, and empowered. It ends with you grateful you did not wait. And when this chapter is behind you, you will walk outside, lift your face to the sky, and feel the warmth of a future restored. The fear that chased you will wither, forgotten, irrelevant. And your life, once delayed, will finally begin moving forward again. You will live, not in suspense, but in peace. Type 7777 if you receive your victory and your healing, for this is your triumphant ending.